What's up, Universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm one of your hosts, as always, C-Dubs, and I'm kind of rolling solo, kind of not, on this video, guys. And what I mean by that is this is the finale to our top 30 horror-themed characters we would like to see in Mortal Kombat 11. Now, we're supposed to be getting some news here either today or at least this weekend from C2E2. Basically, our first DLC character announcement. That's what Ed Boon has been tweeting out. So fingers crossed that we get that information here today, guys. And we'll definitely be making a video letting you know who that character was. And if there's any video clips on it, we'll definitely share that with you as well. Now, in addition to that, what I mean by kinda solo, kinda not, is this video originally had me and DPZ on the entirety of the video, but unfortunately on the editing room floor I had some mishaps that caused some of the file to get corrupted. So the first two entries on this list are just going to be me blabbing away, guys, talking about the characters because I had to kind of improvise. Because unfortunately I wasn't able to save the 10th and 9th spot. So DPZ will be joining me here around number 8. So definitely stick around for that and let us know what you guys think, who you guys want in Mortal Kombat 11, what horror-themed characters do you feel would fit perfectly. So let's go ahead and jump right on into that video. At number 10, the 1988 cult classic Maniac Cop. Now, for all you young bucks out there who may not know exactly who Maniac Cop is, he is a slasher zombie police officer. Now, this movie may be a little dated, okay, but it's definitely a good time and definitely one you guys should go back and check out. At least the first two. I think there's a few others, but definitely the first two. Now, it does star Robert Zadar, also known as Robert Zadowski, the Big Chin Wondered himself, who unfortunately is no longer with us, so he would not be able to voice the character in any way. But I'm sure there's enough on the chopping room floor for them to, you know, sample from the movie, if you will, if they ever did bring this character to the forefront. Again, the purpose of this list, guys, is just we're freaking out, fan theorizing on what characters we could actually have, what characters would fit, as well as fingers crossed one day we will get a horror-themed fighting game. Okay, in the vein of Terror Dome, but for the mass audience, if you will, produced by NetherRealm, which would just blow my mind and make me so happy. But back to Maniac Cop. He is a tank if there ever was one. This dude could take damage and just dish it out. The fact that he is a police officer with any, opening segment intros, if it turns out Stryker is in this game, which as of now he is not. But if he was, we could have some clever conversation between, him calling him a disgrace to the badge and whatnot. Also, if we do happen to get Ash Williams, okay, as a DLC character, Bruce Campbell, the character that played Ash, was actually in Maniac Cop as the protagonist, if you will. He was the cop trying to stop Maniac Cop. So we could get some witty dialogue between the two, maybe some fourth wall breaking humor. You could also get some, funny quips about the chins, because they both have two very, very distinct chins, as you guys can see. Okay, and it just would be absolutely awesome to kind of see this. Again, he is a lesser known horror character, but sometimes that's the best because, when there's not so much expectation, it allows you to open up the floodgates for creativity. And just he could be long range with firearms and grenades, kind of like Stryker, and up close and personal, he'd be really a strong, brutal character, somewhat in the vein of like your Goros or your Jason Voorhees from the last Mortal Kombat. But yeah, definitely Maniac Cop would be a really cool addition if all the pieces fell into place. At number 9, the Tall Man.
The funeral is about to begin.
Now, this is another obscure reference, if you will. Not a lot of people in today's scenes, if you will, you young bucks, if you guys will even know who this guy or this franchise is, even though the last Phantasm movie came out in 2016, starting way back in 1979. So think about that for a second, that this franchise has been going on for this long. Anyway, the Tall Man is a gruntled, spiritual, interdimensional badass, if you will. Obviously, he's super tall, lanky, and strong, okay? But he gives off the appearance of an older man, so you tend to think you could take him. Nah. You get up close and he just trashes your ass. He just pounds you to the ground, throws you around like you're nothing. And if you try to get or run away, if you will, okay, he has these magical orbs, if you will. Almost like crystal balls, but much smaller. Maybe about the size of a pool cue, or if you will, a pool ball, I should say. Okay, these things go flying through the air, and each one is designed with different ways to torture and or maim. Some have spikes, knives, or blades that stick out of them and penetrate you. Some have drills that'll drill right through you. Okay, some can go halfway and then a funnel type hose pops out of the back and blood squirts out. The Tall Man is definitely diverse enough as a Mortal Kombat character. If he were to make it into the franchise, again, he would be somewhat towering over some of the folks, if you will, and at times he does kind of lumber, okay, but get in close and he's just going to pound you, and again, I could just see him shooting off these different types of orbs that do many different tactics, and again, since the expectation for this character is so low, okay, it opens the door for major amounts of creativity, okay. He has druids that remind me of the I forget what they're called, but if you've ever seen Spaceballs, the scene with yogurt and the druids that are going around through the sand in the desert, okay, that remind me somewhat of them, believe it or not, but they literally will jump out, hold you down, while these spheres just penetrate you and drill right through your body. I could see him opening up his hand and just releasing, 3 orbs, 2 go through your eyes, another one goes through your mouth, okay, I could just see all kinds of different things happening with this particular character. And to be honest, again, since it's such an obscure character, okay, in the big picture of horror, if you will, that it would just be really cool to see the designs that they do. And yeah, when you start talking about different gear and stuff like that, it might be a little difficult because he's more known for just kind of looking like an usher, if you will, or a pallbearer, just kind of dressed, in a tuxedo or whatnot. But again, who knows, man? They can kind of go any kind of different way. The suit could just be different colors, if you will. The orbs could be different colors. It still would be really, really cool to get him in this game.
So, number 8, Pumpkinhead. Created by Stan Winston. Great visual. The top man in Hollywood for visual effects. This dude created a monster who's essentially... Imagine if Alien face fucked Ghost Rider.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's one way to put it for sure.
So Pumpkinhead, I don't know, is this big monster who is more or less almost indestructible.
Right.
This is a monster that if you've done wrong, it will kill you. Not really it's intelligent, but it's not capable of speech or anything. And again, some of the problem you have with some of the horror characters that you have to get the licensing use the licensing. But not the problem with Pumpkinhead. It's just a giant demon, and I think it would be that character would be slow to use, but it would definitely be a tank character.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is very powerful. Essentially, it's kind of like a vengeful spirit monster because
it's like Ghost Rider.
It's or like a revenant, even if you will. Just it comes back, or it's brought to basically kill the people that did you wrong, essentially. So any character could have summoned it. Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, anybody could have summoned this creature from another portal. So it's just easily written into it, and just because of how strong and this character is and how massive his hands are, he literally could just grab you and just rip you apart. His fatalities would just be absolutely insane.
Yeah. He would just grab you by the head and stick his claws in your eyes and then just start pulling.
Oh, dude, that would be so epic. Absolutely. And he is just almost like the Xenomorph, just terrifying to look at. Like his shape is very disproportioned, so he's very just this unique.
He's a big gangly kind
Right.
of like,
Yeah. So you look at him, he's skinny. He ain't got no strength. Yeah. Okay.
Just wait until he tears your asshole inside out.
Literally.
Yeah. So number 7.
Number 7 is one that I've been wanting for a while, and one that we have been trolled to believe that was going to happen the last Mortal Kombat, and that is the Terminator.
The future has not been written. There is no fate but what we make for ourselves.
Terminator, Cyberdyne Systems Model 101. Part man, part machine. Fully armored, very tough. But outside it's living human tissue. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
Now, in my opinion, it doesn't matter which one or either, or it could be the T800 or the T1000.
And actually, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was going to say, I think if we were going to get Terminator, I think it would be more possible for T1000 because probably easier to get the likeness for Robert Patrick, and I think you could actually do the voice. And plus, could you imagine using like what kind of attacks the T1000 you could have him do? Just imagine the fatalities and what have you. Like,
sure.
There's so many like variations you could use with the T1000. But I think like if you could get away with T800 Schwarzenegger's Terminator, like you could get away with it if you just didn't have his face. Like you just had the model. Like you just
it could be the exoskeleton. Yeah. Well, when we're talking about Mortal Kombat, especially this one, we're going to get a lot of different versions. So it is possible, and it's not like I'm a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, but it's not like he's the A-class celebrity he used to be. So he's getting ready to do, we were just talking about it, the movie, the hero movie.
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury. I mean, he's getting ready to do Kung Fury, so it's not like Hollywood's knocking down his door. And again, when you say the Terminator, he is who you think of first, and I'm sure Ed Boon and Mortal Kombat is a big enough franchise where they might be able to pull it off. But again, I mean, it would just be another tank character, but it would be iconic to see with maybe he pulls out a minigun for the fatality, or if he has his rocket launcher, just the sheer strength. And I, again, would want them both. If I can get them both, my only beef, or only thing I think that would be a little weird with the T1000, if you guys remember Glacius from Killer Instinct, even though he's made of snow, but he does have that kind of liquid movement. Some people might start to criticize and say they're just copying that, so even though it's the other way around because the T1000 did come first. But either way, that would be epic. I would pay $10 for each one of them without a shadow of a doubt.
And besides, we had Terminator in one of the WWE games, right?
Oh yeah.
He was a guest character.
I was just going to say that too. Yeah. He was a guest character in a wrestling game. Well, he's also in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, Terminator. Absolutely. Let us know in the comments below which one you would want.
Yeah. So number 6, don't say this character's name 5 times in a mirror.
Bloody Mary?
Candyman.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You are not content with the stories, so I was obliged to come. Be my victim. Be my victim.
Candyman, of course, a Clive Barker character, scary, one of the few I think the only African-American slasher.
Popular or famous, I would definitely say so too.
Just this big, imposing character. Tony Todd, I think you could get him to not only like get his likeness, but also voice him.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what kind of attacks you could use, like maybe a range attack, like he spits out bees to get in your face,
or he opens up and they come out of his ribs.
Yeah, like that'd be a cool fatality. Like he could just take like his hook hand, ram it down your hit your chin, it comes out of your mouth, and he just rips your bottom jaw off. You're gagging, like your tongue's flopping out, and then he just grabs you by the head and just starts digging his hook, and he just rips out one of your eyeballs, throws you on the ground, just stomps on the head. I think a little too far into these.
Yeah, you do, but no, it's perfectly fine. But, and again, Tony's voice is very iconic, and little known fact, funny enough, between me and my wife, every once in a while, I actually said this on another video, he was the voice of Darkseid in the last Superman movie.
He's
Brandon Superman.
He's voiced Darkseid before.
Right. And a little known fact between me and my wife, I always randomly will ask her to be my victim. And he's really, one of his catchphrases is Candyman is with me.
That could be like what he says in the female characters.
Right, exactly. So he has a thing for white women too. So Cassie Cage being the focal point, it would be kind of interesting to see that. He's a great character. The mythos behind him is fantastic. You could have things with mirrors, things with bees, things with the hook hand. He's essentially a ghost as well. So if he could phase through attacks if he wanted to, and it would all be okay. He's just intimidating and grotesque as fuck.
Yeah. Now the big question is, because they're doing gear system, like how would some of these guest characters get like a gear system, if any? Like
Sure.
it's a little hard to say, but I think like maybe because they do vary, like they vary his costume throughout the movie.
Right,
So
right.
maybe like each new gear system is like a costume, like
Right.
one of his different costumes.
I mean, you could have different types of hooks, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe less bloody, if you will, on one. And
or maybe like one costume that has more bees like crawling on his face.
right, or maybe one he doesn't have the trench or the fur coat. It's just his
rib
bloody
cage.
skeleton. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's many different things they could possibly do. But again, it just would be cool, and we're just kind of just randomly coming up with these guys, and it would just be fantastic to see. Ed Boon, let's make this happen, guys.
Yeah. So
Number 5. This one is either hit or miss for some people. Some people love this character. Some people think he's cheesy.
and others like they have a good reason not liking this franchise
Well,
because the director.
Right. I get what the director did, but I'm just talking the character itself, the Creeper, from the Jeepers Creepers franchise. And at the very least, I think the first 2 movies are fine. It gets a little wonky when we get to the third one. I didn't like that one at all.
Like they really like don't try to be a you're trying to do a fourth one.
But he is he's very versatile because he's really quick. He can fly or float, if you will, in combat. He uses weapons. He has this murderous truck that can open in many ways, whether it maybe with the fatalities and whatnot.
He's got shurikens made of bones.
Right.
And it's a range tag. He can throw his axe and
at
he can
you.
summon it back to him.
Right. And his truck seems to possibly be somewhat sentient, if you will, if not just booby-trapped to perfection, if you will. It shoots out harpoons and can drag him back into
That'd
his...
actually be like a cool fatality. Like you hear like the fatality.
He whistles and his truck pulls up.
Yeah, like or no, he like steps aside. You see the truck, and then the harpoon shoots out of the axle. It gets the guy through the head, and then he just rips it right out.
Or pulls him into the cabinet of the van itself, and who knows what horrors go out there.
Oh, you know, like instead, because remember how when Predator, when you didn't use the fatality, he still like ripped people's spines out.
Mhm.
You know, what'd be cool is like he looks down at the person in front of him. It fades to black, and then it cuts back to his home, and you see like the eyes are gone in the other character's face, and he's looking through it like at the end of the first movie.
Oh, yeah. And another thing that would be really cool with this character is if you're not familiar with the character, essentially, he's, for all intents and purposes, immortal because whatever on him, whether dies, deteriorates, gets ripped off, whatever the case may be, he replenishes it with another body part from another person, essentially. So he's forever living, so he's constantly eating body parts and things like that. It would be kind of cool that maybe, and this might be a lot of work, he could have different fatalities for each character because he may want the eyes from Cassie Cage, or he may want a foot from this guy. And, it'd be kind of interesting to kind of see. And the gear system, again, we're just looking maybe different variations of the coat, maybe without a coat, a different hat.
Yeah, like the whole gargoyle look.
Yeah, he could have the little spider thing that comes out of his head.
Yeah, and definitely, like, when I think about it, he could definitely work on a gear system. Because, again, like, you could just do, like, different body parts of different MK characters.
Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah, you're right. He comes out with a metal arm like Jax.
Or, like, one arm's, like, Raiden, the other arm's Sub-Zero.
Right, yeah, it would be absolutely awesome and just wicked. And he's strong and fast and agile, so he's like a perfect combatant for something like this. And again, with his, like you said, the axe and everything like that, long range, short range, he could do it all.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely Creeper would be great.
Yeah.
So my number 4 can be summed up is that he will tear your soul apart.
Right, he ain't playing no games.
Yeah. Pinhead.
Hellraiser.
This is a character I've wanted for MKX for a long time, like, for the MK series. I think he's perfect. He would definitely be more like a summoner. Like, he would be more using, like, range attacks, kind of like Shang Tsung or Quan Chi.
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, like, I think, like, the story could be, like, Shang Tsung tried to access the power of the Lament configuration. He fucked it up, and now Pinhead and his Cenobites are now on Outworld. And they're pissed off that, you know, you pulled us away from hell and tried to make us your slaves. That ain't happening. So I think what would be cool is that's his backstory, is that he's hunting Shang Tsung for trying to think that he had the balls to control a general of hell.
Yeah, and what would be really cool with this character too is when we start talking, when you first think about the gear system with him, you'd be like, oh, but he just wears like black tight leather. Have you ever seen bondage clothing? Like, there's all kinds of weird, creepy crap that they could put him in.
Definitely so much. There's so much they could put him in.
It could be a little morbid, terrifying, and embarrassing on how much crap they could give him. Like, he could come out looking like a gimp with a zipper mouth, and it would be passable. Just pins sticking out of a zipper mouth. That would be really crazy.
Yeah, it'd just be like, have flashbacks to Pulp Fiction.
Exactly. It would be terrifying.
Like, that could be the name of the costume, Bring Out the Gimp.
Right? And then, you know, we've also seen versions of him in his past, him being a Nazi and whatnot. Yeah. You could even have the human version of him dressed, as a Nazi coming out. And
he wasn't a Nazi, he was a World War I soldier in France.
Oh, that's why I was thinking Nazi, sorry, but
yeah.
World War soldier, so
yeah.
My bad. But he could come out in his human form, still have it. He could mold the box, if you will. That could be one of the fatalities where he tosses the box in there. It's all open and they figure it, and then out come the chains, rip your flesh off.
Yeah.
Cenobites.
Well, I was thinking like one of the fatalities can be is that the screen goes dark, it shows back up, and all the hooks start flying into the other character's arms. The other Cenobites are like surrounding and like watching, and then just one jerk, it rips all the skin off the other character, and he's like, ugh, and he's like walking forward, and he falls right at Pinhead's feet. And he's just like, yeah, that'll do.
And just move sets, if you will. He could have other Cenobites help him, kind of like in like more common in like Capcom games where like the Tyrant will have zombies come out, or one of the Resident Evil characters may have a zombie come out to assist.
Like one of the Cenobites is named Chatter. He can summon him. He can jump up behind the guy
and start gnawing at him.
Yeah, like take a bite out. And
that could be like his slam too. Like you know, sometimes the slams instead of a slam, it's like a motion or something.
Yeah.
Like that could be his X-ray or whatever they're calling it. Too.
It's now like I can't remember. But it's like when you're close to death.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Like all
different ones jump out to help. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really dope. And to be honest, out of all the ones we've said so far, I think this is the one. This one and the next 3 have the biggest chances of being in this, and I think they're going to be on everyone's wish list. So fingers crossed that we do get it. And one thing that we have to look forward to with this game, even though nothing has been confirmed yet, we literally just had the fan event the other day. But one thing every Mortal Kombat installment has upped the ante, and that has included the special guest characters. So, you know, the last time around we had 4. Okay, so there's right now we're hopefully maybe we'll get 6 or more. So
yeah,
it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. So what is the number 3?
Number 3.
Hail to the
Hail
King.
to the King, baby. Boomstick, Ash Williams.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead. Bound in human flesh and inked in blood, this ancient Sumerian text contained bizarre burial rites, funerary incantations, and demon resurrection passages. It was never meant for the world of the living.
Is there another iconic hero, if you will, in horror movies? And that's what makes him as such a special character to be in this, is that all of these on this list basically are, with the exception of maybe Terminator, depending on which movie we're talking about, are all villains. They're killers, they're slashers, they're monsters, they're demons. But Ash himself is a hero. It would be absolutely hysterical to see him and Johnny Cage bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
The things they would say to each other, because they essentially have the exact same personality.
Yeah.
They're womenizers that, dude, they're just awesome. And not that being a womanizer is awesome, just in case to all of our lady fans out there, but the characters themselves are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, with him, gear system, we're talking chainsaws, we're talking different metal hands.
Different shotguns.
Exactly. They could be sawed off, they could be full size. You could give him a freaking sword hand.
Or a gauntlet like his gauntlet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I could imagine, like...
old Ash, young Ash.
Yeah.
You know, with a girder on. I mean...
His fatality could be, like... the fatality we call swallow this. Like, he sticks the barrel after, like, he takes out your legs out from under you, jams the double barrel in your throat, and goes, boom, blam, and your head, like, all that's left is just the bottom half of the jaw.
He looks at it for a second, and he rambles his S-Mart special, and then, boom. I mean, obviously the chainsaw speaks for itself. But what another really cool thing that would be kind of interesting, though, is, you know the little hand from 2?
Yeah.
It could be like a little thing that
Like a little
runs
summon.
out to helps him. Yeah, that would be really freaking funny.
Like it crawls out and, like, stabs you in the back.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It
Yeah.
just jumps out of nowhere, and a freaking severed hand stabs you in the back. Like, how freaking... Dude, tell me you wouldn't nerd out for that.
Yeah.
Like, I would
or
flip
like,
shit.
he could use the Nomicon to summon, the Necronomicon to summon.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, wait, wrong passage.
Right, it sucks you in and then maybe spits out the bones or something like that. There are all kinds of different things it could do.
Or a Deadite comes flying in, it's going for Ash, he like, oh shit, and ducks, and it attacks the other guy instead.
You could have multiple little Ashes attack.
Yeah,
if
or,
you will.
or from Army of Darkness, like skeleton hands coming out and like beating the shit.
So many things you could do with this character. And actually, something that never got even further explained in the sequel with the... remember there was like a sword or a dagger made out of bones?
Yeah, the Kandarian dagger.
Yeah, they never really played much with that in obviously in Army of Darkness they didn't really talk much about it. So it would have been really kind of cool for it, maybe that could be another weapon that he has or uses or a fatality that he uses within it.
And just the story would be easy. The book sent the book sent him to Outworld.
Yeah, right, exactly. He read the damn wrong passage and he showed up in this damn hellhole. I mean, in all honesty, he's fought freaking zombie Marvel characters.
Yeah.
If he could do that, and he was in the crossover event if he could do those two things, why can't he be here? Other than the fact that that the actor has decided to no longer play that character.
He can still voice him.
Exactly. So, and even if he didn't revoice him, maybe he could give it the thumbs up for them to use the stuff he's already said, because that's honestly all we really want him to say is all his iconic verbiage and quotes that he said in the movies anyway. And gear system, like we said, old Ash, young Ash, different hands. It would just be absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Definitely out of all the characters, his gear system would be the easiest.
Oh, I think so too. Out of everyone we mentioned, for sure.
So, number 2.
Number 2. I'll leave number 1 for you, guy. Or do you want number 2?
We'll do number 1 together.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 2. You'll float too. Yeah.
Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Yep. This is a character I've wanted for a while, but it's also the most possible out of all the characters.
All of them, yes.
Reason being is because Pennywise is under Warner Brothers, which is also the people who make who also have NetherRealm Studios. We've got a movie coming out this year with Pennywise.
He's been hinted at before. He's been requested many, many, many times.
And yeah, it's obviously going to be the Skarsgård version of... It's the 2017 Pennywise, probably. Well, but you could do the gear system, make him look like...
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. The gear system, you would have to definitely get both versions.
Yeah.
If you didn't, it would really be sad. Because it's still sad that we never got another version of Freddy Krueger. Yeah. We only got the newer version. But, dude, to get both Pennywise, like, the fatalities are endless. From giant spider
to biting your arm off.
Yes, like literally, he could do something that actually makes you float. You know, everything about this character is great, and the beep Richie, him walking in, and beep Johnny,
like where you like that could be his intro. Is like the balloons are covering his face, and it slowly shows up. He's like, "Where you going, Johnny?"
Oh, that's a little interesting. What is a spatial like I don't even know what is it? It's undescribable what it really is. So, but man, that would be absolutely awesome. The only downfall to the gear system and that would make this character a little goofy is when you start thinking about clown shoes. That's my only concern is just they'd have to really get that looking good. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be as scary as it really is. That's my only beef with it.
So let's see if that floats through the waves of. My sentence is all over the place.
Let's see if that actually happens. But again, this is the one I think that has the most chance to happen.
As well as number one.
Number one mostly because of what has happened before, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll let you start it off.
It's Michael.
Yeah, Michael Myers. Good old Mikey, huh?
Yeah.
My suggestion is termination. Death is the only solution for Michael. There's nothing to be gained from keeping evil alive.
The Shape.
Yeah, The Shape, one of the original slashers. Michael, I think like it's just like it should happen because we've had Freddy, you had Jason, you had Leatherface. You need the fourth founding father of horror.
Yeah, I would agree. And in some ways, I think he rounds out, even though Chainsaw is definitely up there. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is very influential. I think, honestly, without having Michael Myers in it's just blasphemy. I mean, he is the father of the slashers.
Well, I wouldn't say father. Like, there was Black Christmas and a few others. But he's definitely, like, that's the one that's set.
Yeah, but I'm saying that iconic. Yeah. But... and the one thing though that I would have to say is we could say his name all, but in my opinion, in the top left-hand corner or right-hand corner, depending if you're player 1 or 2, underneath the name, if the name is going to show, it should say The Shape. I don't want it to say Michael Myers. I want it to say The Shape, just because it's just. I remember in the first time I saw the movie, and I'm reading through the credits, and it just says The Shape. And as a kid, when I saw that movie, I didn't know what the hell that meant. I didn't know who that was. So I'm like, what the hell's The Shape? Yeah. And obviously, as I grew up, I got to realize that he is The Shape. And the only hard thing, though, with him, too, kind of is the gear system. Do you have him in, like, a nightgown from the insane asylum or a red jumpsuit?
Like the bandages over
I guess. Actual William Shatner head?
like all of his interests could just be...
Right, he just turns his head sideways. One thing, though, that another thing I would have to request, that if they did bring Michael to the forefront of a character, is like we said earlier, a lot of times with these movies we get an iconic kill. And one of the most iconic kills, and was even reproduced in the newer sequel, the new one that just came out, the remake or whatever, is where he jacks him up onto something
and pins him with the knife.
So whether it's with the knife or because it's a tree or whatever, he has to basically stationary someone up against the wall.
Yeah. And again, like he that character just came back in a movie, and the popularity is back, and there's a good chance we're going to get a sequel. So,
right. And again, he's a much requested character to begin with. So, guys, so that's our list, the top 10. You stuck around all this dang time for this list, and I'm glad my good buddy here could be with us for the top 10. And guys, let us know in the comments below who you would have in your top 10. And, again, no one list is perfect. Again, I know probably like Maniac Cop, most of you probably never even heard of, but do some research. Trust me, you guys would like these characters. And until next time,
see you once more in the universe.
Peace.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.